There is some crazy stuff going on, dudes and dudettes. So major endgame changes, patch 0.3.1. I'm a big fan of what I'm seeing here, and I want to share my thoughts with you guys. Quick little video. Where am I at with it? What do I think? Well, it's pretty transparent that Path of Exile 2's Atlas is becoming a lot more like Path of Exile 1's endgame mapping system. And I, for one, have played both, and my take is I don't mind that. I actually don't have a problem with Path of Exile 1's endgame mapping. It feels fun. It feels great. I've got player agency over what maps I want to run, and I have ease of use to go anywhere I want, and I could just play any map because I like that. The problem is, like, is there an identity issue when it's just the same thing? Like, why are we making Path of Exile 2 if we already have Path of Exile 1 outside of what? Some cosmetic updates? Well, not really. Like, in my opinion, there are enough differences between the two games to enjoy two separate products. So I don't really get caught up in that conversation, but I do see a similarity. You can't miss it. They're so damn similar. So let's talk about Path of Exile 2's Endgame Atlas and sort of what's changing huge and how that might affect us. So one of the biggest things inside the game right now is you have to basically, the strategy for good endgame, like juicing your maps, you have to bum rush or run immediately to a tower, do a 6 modifier waystone on that tower, whether it's tier 1 map, T15 map, doesn't matter. You subsequently complete that, and then you put in 3 precursor tablets to affect all of the map nodes in range, like 18 maps or whatever that's going to be, right? So you're oversaturating these nodes with a bunch of value. And so I have no problem with that. That's just kind of what we were doing. Now, that isn't it. Now towers are just going to expose more of the Atlas to you so you can see what's up. But every single map that you run now, you get to put in 1 waystone. There's 4 slots, right? 1 waystone and 1 precursor tablet in that slot, depending on how many modifiers are on the waystone. So if you're just doing like blue maps, you're going to have 1 precursor tablet affecting all maps without ever having to engage with the tower. That's going to feel really, really nice. That's just going to be you having complete control over what you want to do in the Atlas to get more value out of it, which I think is kind of nice. And then if you get stronger, you can run additional modifiers on that to add even more precursor tablet effects to impact that run even more. And the amount of charges on a precursor tablet are going to be displayed in the bottom right-hand side of that object as you put it inside. So inside the interface to run a map. Might sound kind of confusing, kind of new if you're new to the game, but I'm telling you right now, as someone who's played thousands and thousands of hours of Path of Exile 1, it feels really nice to be in full control over how you're going to throw in additional content in your maps if that's something you want to do. Which raises a question for me, and I want to just kind of throw it out there in ethos. So I wonder how that makes the grand project. Does that make the grand project even more valuable? Does that make this like the supreme GigaChad tablet? I'm not so sure. So all maps in range can be accessed and all the maps that you run are irradiated. Well, that's pretty fantastic. So if all maps in the range can be accessed, I assume this is within like how much distance from me? And the reason this is important for me is this. I'm currently not taking local knowledge in the Atlas passive skill tree because I'm just testing with it, without it, to see what my drops feel like. But in a world where I can choose the biome that I run, I just want to live inside swamp and water biomes, which means I'm basically going to teleport from node to node to node. I'm going to run along water maps. I'm going to live in water maps, and I'm just going to try to make sure I have even more currency in all of my base maps by 40%. And then I should be hitting more perfect exalts, more divines, maybe some mirrors of Kalandra if I have enough rarity, which we can force with omens. But this conversation is very, very interesting. It's churning up some thoughts and ideas to automatically change the way things are going, which is what it should do. So on the surface, like on the face, I'm thinking, yeah, this is awesome. This is going to be great. Every map has a boss, so I could just run to a map boss, slap them. Cool. Get my my upgraded waystone if I'm on a new character or something. This all sounds fantastic. That all sounds really good to me. But I'm not sure how that's going to operate. And I think that there's going to be folks picking these up really quick because it could be insane or it could just be toast. I'm not really sure. Now, when I check out what they're talking about here, I do like to change to Orbs of Alchemy. Right now, you can use it on a white item to make it rare with 4 modifiers. You can now use that on a magical item with like 2 to go to 4, which is like basically a free exalt. I think that's kind of nice. It seems like tablet powers are going to be increased by roughly 2 to 3 times. And there's a lot of value here. Like if you always kind of scroll through, number of strong boxes now has a 100% increased chance. Like this is great because I'm a guy that has, like, if I show you, and I'm not trying to flex here, it just is what it is. I got 13 million gold. I haven't found any of these unique researchers strong boxes, so I can't gamble like to get more currency. Maybe I have a chance to do that now, and I'm going to try to do that, which is pretty cool. I also like the new modifiers that they're adding, new summoning circles, right? This is all very good. Additional essences. Well, that's stuff that I'm farming in my end game kind of currency generating setup. So this is all good. There really isn't something here that I'm seeing in any of these notes that comes across as like, ooh, I'm not sure if that's going to be good. They're actually just, again, forcing themselves back into a bit of a corner with Path of Exile 1's experience, which I think will be for the benefit of anybody. And the subsequent kind of benefit, as I'm saying it now, I'm thinking about this, the bridge between Path of Exile 2, come into our ARPG and play a really cool game, into, hey, by the way, there's this Path of Exile 1 game that is just like cranking all the things up to 11 with like crazy crafting, great endgame systems, tons of endgame mechanics that you want to engage with. That bridge becomes a hell of a lot easier to digest when the endgame is so similar. I think that's a good thing. Yeah, precursor tablets are pretty much like scarabs now. Again, but I don't have a problem with that. Overall, big fan. Can't believe we're getting this already. And I like his take of just giving us those features now so we can focus on the content of 0.4, which is going to be the Druid, right? Coming out in December. So again, big fan. Curious to see what your thoughts are. Wanted to share mine. It's just too good not to discuss. The end game will become a lot easier. Big fan over here. That's where I'm at. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Tell me what you think. I read all the comments. Catch you guys on the next one.